Hi, I'm Chuck, and I'm part of a movement called No Place Left, and we're talking about leadership. This is part 2. We talked about Moses being affirmed by God, his leadership being affirmed in part 1. In part 2, we're going to talk about Moses' character. He's humble and he's teachable. Now, we look at our strategy, the 4-field strategy. Really what we're talking about is multiplying leaders here in the center of the strategy. So let's talk about his humility and teachability. Here's what was happening. Moses and people just came off this fantastic victory in chapter 17. Now in chapter 18, Moses' father-in-law comes to visit, and he sees that Moses is judging the people from sunup to sundown. And basically he recognizes that this is going to be too much of a burden for Moses to handle, not only him, but the people as well. And so he is going to give a recommendation that he delegates the minor issues to other people, and then he handles the big stuff. And he needs to delegate this to men of caliber or character, able men who fear God, men of truth, those who hate dishonest gain. And if he does this, he's going to make things a lot easier on himself, and he's probably going to last a distance. So Jethro, Moses' father-in-law, gives him this advice. So how does Moses respond? He responds with humility and teachability. And we see that as a leader, even though Moses was very successful, he didn't know everything. He wasn't perfect. We also see Moses humbling himself and learning from his father-in-law. He's teachable. Moses has to release authority to other people with godly character if he's going to continue to lead effectively. Our application as leaders, as we look at Moses, we need to acknowledge that we're not perfect. Just fess up. We don't know it all, and we don't do everything great. We need to humble ourselves and stay teachable. We need to release authority to men and women of character. Our survival and the kingdom's advancement depends on that. Observations as followers in this story. They saw that their leader wasn't perfect. He didn't know everything, and he didn't do everything perfectly. They saw how their leader responded to godly counsel with humility and teachability. And then there are leaders at every level, thousands, hundreds, 50s, tens. So we know that there are leaders in the midst of the flock. And these leaders help the leader when they receive that authority and that was delegated to them. So what are our applications as a follower? 1, cut your leaders some slack. They are not perfect. But look for leaders who are humble and teachable. Those are the kind of people that you want to follow. And be the kind of person that can be depended on to lead. People of character, able, fear God, truthful, hating dishonest gain. And then lastly, stop sitting on the bench. Get into the game. Be that kind of person that you receive that delegated authority and responsibility and run with it. Be eager to serve God as the leader that you are meant to be, whether that's over 10, 50, 100, or 1,000. I hope this is helpful. Until next time, keep making disciples until there's no place left.